Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there was a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, live in studio. And joining us is Alex Jones. He wanted to weigh in on what's going on with the Pope. He's going to be interviewing Alice Walker, the author of The Color Purple, Pulitzer Prize-winning book, and it should be a very interesting interview. But, Alex, you wanted to say something about the Pope calling for the governments to redistribute wealth.
Well, that's right. I'm so busy running a business operation just to sustain InfoWars and take care of stuff. Sometimes you come and broadcast for it. You don't fill in. You just host the Yellowstone show, the InfoWars, David. And I've been listening while I've been driving around doing errands. Taking care of some family stuff. You're really doing a great job, and we're all blessed to have you, David, and Chikari and Leanne and McBreen and Dew and Marcos and and the writers and just everybody. What a great team at InfoWars. I thank God for you all. And for the First Amendment, for all our friends, the real media, that we all co-support each other. We all collaborate together against tyranny and against the globalist collaborators in our government. We fight against the enemy collaborators. But when you're talking about the news articles about how they do a litmus test now, if you're for traditional family values and Christianity, this is beyond McCarthyism. You cannot have a TV show. And they're now with this new federal bureau they're setting up to go into broadcast, but also internet, radio, TV, and cable and internet. leadership has circled the wagons with John Boehner against the Tea Party, and they're collecting money from the big Republican donors and the different manufacturing associations and others that have sold the country out to target the Tea Party, the real libertarian Tea Party, to destroy us because we're the only opposition. So everybody should support the real Tea Party, not the Republicanoid one that failed to take it over, because we're under attack, folks, because we're in. That's why I'm fully thrown in the libertarian majority in the Tea Party. I'm fully thrown in with the Republican Tea Party libertarian movement. It's not perfect, but it's the only real resistance of any Americana left. And so I'm 100% behind it now, and everybody needs to start getting behind, giving money to it and everything. There's a massive I've never done this in 19 years on air, because this is the takeover by the globalists. And when you've got talk show hosts, the TV hosts that are popular on these different channels, and they're being kicked off television by a litmus test, you're looking at hardcore evil. And again, I don't bash Catholics, Protestants, anybody, but undoubtedly, the new pope is under massive pressure because you got the Waltons with $140 billion with Walmart scams. You got the Rothschilds with trillions. You got all this going on. Well, what about Yellen, the head of the Federal Reserve, and Bernie Sanders this week, from an oligarchy running America? Well, yeah, they're the head of the oligarchy. The Federal Reserve has transferred tens of trillions since 2008 to private shareholders of the Federal Reserve. Not $140 billion in scam business and Chinese slave goods like Walmart. So they'll go after senior members of the New World Order like the Waltons and the Kochs. Hey, that's great. Go after them. But we need to go after George Soros and the real top of the New World Order, David Rockefeller, the people that are lobbying to take our guns, lobbying to break up our family, lobbying to shut down Christians, lobbying to shut down pro-life, because we're beginning to win. And so we are the resistance, and they couldn't take us over, so now they're trying to shut it down. They can shut them down, folks. They have rhetoric like, let's put the Tea Partiers on body bags at these different government-run universities. They can shut everybody down. And this is true blacklist. This is true censorship. This is true litmus test. This is true tyranny. And I don't care if you're a liberal, a conservative, a libertarian, gay, straight, stand on your head. You better, if people want to have a cooking show or a remodeling show on a channel, and then they cancel their popular show because they are Christians, you're dealing with tyranny, ladies and gentlemen. And if they can have litmus tests and say preachers can't preach from the Bible in Canada, or you can't criticize radical Islam in England or you get arrested, this is happening. And this is tyranny. It's not coming, it's here. And if they can silence a conservative or a gun owner or a pro-lifer, they can silence anybody. And they're getting ready to come after your property, your pension fund, folks. That's why they want to shut down free speech first. And finally, and I'm going to let you get back into your stories and calls and myself coming up. You're going to co-host with me, by the way, David. When she comes on, I was able to finish my business and come in and talk to her. I thought that was important because she's plugged on the air that she's a listener and got criticized by the British and U.S. press for it. The incredible author of The Color Purple and much, much more should be coming on. And you grew up in the South. I want you to co-host an interview with me. But here's the bottom line. What about the wealth transfer of $1.5 quadrillion to derivatives by the private central bank? What about the tens of trillions transferred to the elite and the too big to fails of U.S. taxpayers? What about the transfer with Obamacare written by foreign banks and insurance companies to double, triple prices, raise payroll taxes on poor working people? Well, I mean, it's a fraud. The globalists are eugenicists who want to control the economy, don't want any money out there they don't control. They've taken over via the Federal Reserve and fractional reserve banking. And so they point at the giant poor masses out there, made poor by globalism, made poor by collectivism, made poor by the two-tier system where the ultra-rich lobby to raise taxes on the middle class to extinct their competition. And now they've got the Pope killing a 900 million to a billion Catholics. And this is outrageous because we need legitimate wealth redistribution. This is the opposite of what Pope John Paul II said. So I just want to point out here years had 7 taxes raised on them under Obama. They're extincting our wealth. We should call for cutting taxes like a good Catholic, John F. Kennedy said, and it doubled the amount of money that came into the federal government. He should be calling on cutting taxes, not raising them. This is about redistributing the poor people's money to the ultra-rich and extincting the nouveau riche, new rich, who are the engine of all prosperity. Listen, I'm nouveau riche, ladies and gentlemen. I will be considered rich by the average person. I'm not. Okay, people think they're making $300,000 a year or something rich. I could make a lot more money as a talk show host, but I decided to build an operation, hire more than 50 people, and spend almost all of my wealth. I would be making billions of dollars just as a radio host. That's what runs the whole operation. But I fund it and am building a news organization, films, news websites off of the radio show. Okay, that's the engine of wealth. That's the engine of free market. I'm spending almost everything coming in now on trying to fight the new war. So people need to buy our books, buy our videos, buy our t-shirts, buy the InfoWars Live product, buy the film, buy just all of it, the water filters, high-quality products at low prices, free market, so that I can get more reporters, so I can fund sending my crew to Bilderberg in Copenhagen, Denmark, which I'm sending David Knight, and I'm sending other great members of the crew. That takes a lot of money. And Bilderberg complains every year. How could there be protesters here? Put us on top of a mountain in Switzerland. They want you poor as an agent of control. So promote liberty, promote freedom, and promote the shows they're trying to censor. We've got to all hang together. I've taken the wealth of what's left of the free market and of free speech and their support and invested it in fighting for you, and putting films out for free online, and putting magazines out at cost, and doing this and pay my people good so they can live and fight. We are in this together. We can build economies together, but you've got to support the First Amendment now and recognize what outrageous criminals the globalists are. All right, I'm coming in to put on my sports jacket, come in there and go with you in T-minus 16 minutes. You go ahead and take over David Knight, but now is the time to support free speech. Now is time to support the real Tea Party. Now, because it's under attack by both parties. They try to take it over. They said, this is it, boys. And I'm going to take you to Rowdy Piper in a 4-minute great piece called They Live 2014. The video is even more powerful. We'll repost it at Infowars.com. David will come back with comments on this right now. But first, let's roll this powerful piece, this call to arms in the InfoWar. I'm Alex Jones, and if you're listening to this transmission, you are the resistance.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signal's broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say, there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet